Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Oh, okay, so yes, this is kind of a big title, no verses, but it's something I really feel like I need to cover, and I'm probably going to cover it all the time, like almost any other topic I do. But anyway, if you're new, hi, hello, how are you? It's like I hope you comment, like, subscribe. Yes, that's out of order, but yeah, it says this YouTube channel is as messy as my life, so yay. But okay, I'm gonna get right into the topic because okay, when it comes to history, which a lot of states, a lot of schools refuse to teach authentic history, but within the last 100 years, not everyone was allowed to vote. Education and the rights of education were limited, segregated, or just oh, egregious, just ugly. Yeah, because there's other words I want to say, but that's a simple, nice. But even getting a bank account, my while my mom was alive, sometimes she would, when we could tolerate each other, she would tell me about her getting her bank account. And she, like, both of my parents, but at the same time, watching my mother and watching some of my family members, it's like I saw how my mom always knew of so many ways to save money and so many ways to even invest. Like, my parents started learning about investing and things, and they would always leave money to the side. And even with paying the mortgage, every other month, they would pay not just one payment, they paid 1.5 of it. So then that would, like, no stress or any, like, because they were always ahead. And so they taught me so much, even with reusing, recycling of different objects. And when it comes to like, or even like, well, interracial dating, that's a different topic, but it's like, and I don't know, it's amazing with how many men tell me that voting doesn't matter. And with dating nightmares, you are going to see, I have so many screenshots, but I'm going to see if I can find any of them for you right now. But I literally have hundreds, probably, yeah, literally, like, I think probably around 400 or 500 photos in my phone, probably more than that. I could try to figure out how to look at the total, but yeah, for once, I'm going to try to stay on topic. But yeah, you do not know how many men with my standards, because I have a list of standards. One of them is you can't be a MAGA supporter, you can't be a Republican, you can't be a Trump supporter, because that's not compatible with me. It's not. But do you know how many men tell me that I'm stupid because I consider like the political stance within my dating parameters? They call me stupid. They call me so many things. And I'm going to show you examples of how Republican men treat me, which they only prove my point of why I never want to date that demographic. And people forget that dating apps is basically marketing of yourself. And with me, I'm going to be upfront and honest. It's like, I am not for the demographic of Republicans. I'm not for the demographic of MAGA. I am not for the demographic for anybody that supports Trump. I'm not. But when men read my standards, they are just like, and it's really funny. They keep, they want to call us sheep. They want to call, like, because I am a progressive Democrat liberal. I'm like a combination of, like, basically, I am of the left. So, but it's just crazy with how they try to throw so many verbal arrows at me. I've been called every word in the book. They call me the R word, which I think I just found a screenshot of one of those examples, so I'll put that in here. And the B word, I've been called, like, some have told me that I need to be eliminated from this earth. I've been called the N word, but yeah, it's like part of me is like, it's like I'm gonna start a Patreon, and all of the really dirty screenshots and all of the really awful dating messages that I get from men, I'm gonna put those on there because there's a lot of them, and that's another reason why it's like sometimes when I'm creating a dating nightmare episode, I'm going through the pictures and I'm like, dang it, I can't. I was like, oh, I might get reprimanded by YouTube. I might be like, they might like try to put me in a timeout or something. So, and it's so frustrating because literally I would be proving my point when these men write me. They literally prove my point, but then they're stupid enough to help me. And yes, stupid. They're absolutely stupid. Because if you are a mature enough man to see that, oh, she's a liberal, ooh, she's progressive, oh, she's a Democrat, we're not compatible, or I don't agree with most of the things she probably thinks of. So, you know what? Let me go to the next person. Let me go to a different profile. But no, we don't have that. Instead, we have men who just literally are, I don't know if they are so hurt that they are determined to hurt me just so they can get power. And like sometimes I wonder, do the Democrat men do this? It's like if they do, let me know. But part of me is just because even on dating apps or when I used to do streaming, which at the end of this episode, oh no, actually at the end of my last episode, there is another dating nightmare screenshot that I have where a guy is literally saying, if the black man is educated, basically he's Republican. I'm summarizing, but it's like that's where he was getting at, and he didn't ask me why, with my dating standards, that I would prefer a man with a certification, a trade, or a bachelor's, because I used to not have those standards. For 5 years, even though he blackmailed me, even though he threatened to eliminate himself from the earth, that's how he dated. He told me that if I wasn't his girlfriend, he was going to eliminate himself from the earth. I was with him for 5 years. He dropped out of high school. He didn't have a high school diploma until year 4. Yeah, year 4. And he failed it the first time. And like no one knows of him, so I can say everything. And no one knows of him. My parents don't even know I dated him because, like I said, he threatened to eliminate himself from the earth. And so, and okay, I know that some people are like, what does that have to do with anything? Well, if I am dating all of these men who, with that was Mr. Lockakey, but Mr. No Heart, whenever his mother said something racist about me, the only reason I got into college is because I'm black. The only reason that I got a part-time professor job is because I'm black. The only reason why I am trying to start publishing books or trying to start my business, and it's like the only reason I might get anywhere is because I'm black. While her son dropped out of college, he got in with a scholarship, but then he escorted himself out on his own. But these men want to tell me voting doesn't matter. It's like women before me fought so that I could get education, quality education. They fought so that I can be able to save and invest my own money in my own account without my dad's approval or needing to find a husband. Like, I don't have to find a husband anymore. The only reason I wanted to get married is so I can have kids. That's the only reason. At first, like when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fall in love, and but then reality kicked when my mother said that as long as I walk like this, no one's ever gonna want me, love me, or marry me. And so then I started dating. Like, I mean, I'm gonna talk about this maybe next episode, but I dated like the bottom of the barrel. I did. I honestly, because part of me was just like, if I date the men that no other woman's gonna want, if I'm gonna date the men that no woman's gonna go up to, and that's why it's like I thought Mr. No Heart was safe because it's like, especially he was newly divorced. He had two kids he called mistakes. He basically, like, he didn't have anything inspiring. And some people are going to ask, why would I do that? And I mean, if everyone is telling me that I'm not good enough, if everyone's mocking me because of how I walk, because that's another reason I vote, especially now. It's like, yes, I just got diagnosed, like, oh my gosh, it's almost 4 years ago. But for disability, for being a woman, for being a person of color, I have to vote. And all of the men who try to tell me voting doesn't matter, and it's like, what do you mean it doesn't matter? If it didn't matter, like, how come so many men are trying to take women's right to vote away? What are you scared of? And if my right to vote is taken away, what other rights are you going to take away? I know in the anime, what's in it? Spy X Family, is like, it's it's almost unlawful if a woman's not married by a certain age. Something's wrong with her if she's not married by a certain age. Are we going to try to do that in America if we God forbid lose? Are we? Because I don't know what would happen. I don't know if I would have to get a passport, like, because there's passport bros. Shoot, I might. Well, yeah, we might need to try to rhyme it with something. Because yeah, I'm just like, ooh, yeah. I don't think I want to be a garden home, but hey, whatever. It's like, go with the flow. Hey, anyway, but so many men have put me down for, even like, back to investing. My parents were really good with saving their money and getting where they are today, or where my father is today. And they, like, never having to worry about a penny, never having to worry again about food or housing, or like, go being, if he wants to go on a trip, he can. It's like, that's where I want to be. But in so many relationships with these men who don't fit my standards, what do you want to travel for? You ain't going anywhere. Oh, if you get you're gonna have to show me this passport. Nah, it's like, because there was one guy. Yeah, he was an inmate in his past. Because I told him about my traveling goals, and but then he kept calling me nerd something. I forgot the nickname, but um, he told me if I got my passport, then I would have to give it to him and ask for it, because he didn't want me out, too far away from him for too long of a time. Because he said if I left the country, he wouldn't know if I was going to be with another man. And he was like, "You're so beautiful." I was like, I know what you're probably going to do. I know what you are going to do. So yeah, you're going to have to ask me. And I was like, and that's while I have all my rights. And oh, don't worry, that was the last time he saw me. Because I even remember, this was like before blocking, but I knew his phone number. So whenever I saw it, I ignored it. So then he passed his, or he gave my phone number to about 5 to 8 different family members. And this is while I'm also trying to like apply for jobs and stuff. And so if I saw that it was from a certain area code, and sometimes I would miss the phone call on purpose to see if I got a voicemail. But then sometimes if it's a job that I applied for and I really want it and I think it might be them, I pick it up. You no good, B. You better come over to my house. Who the F do you think you are? You better come to my house. You better. He was like, you're nothing. He was like, oh, you think you're going to have your master's? You think you're going to have these degrees? You want to run your. Oh, you're not going to run bleep. And it's like, you're going to have my babies and you know it. Even though I think he already had 3 or 4. He started a collection kind of like Mariah Carey's ex. It's like his name on the tip of my tongue, but I don't even care about thinking about him. But yeah, he went to start his own collection of children. Because yeah, he didn't spend like he would brag about not paying child support, but he always bragged that he had like, and sometimes he would make a mistake and say a higher number of children. And I'm like, hold up, wait, yesterday, did you forget about 2 of them? It's like, okay, maybe we should sit down and write down each child's name so then we can keep like and have an attendance. I don't know, like I mean, since I've been in the classroom, maybe that's how we need to organize it because you're forgetting about your children. But anyway, it's like as a female voting education and having the even fertility rights and everything because yes, I want kids. My goal used to be get married so I can have kids. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, get my business and my money together, my investments together, so I can adopt. I don't need the man, skip the man, whatever with the man. I don't care. It's like men have always thought little of me, or they always try to control me. So why in the world? No, it's like my parents already had a controlling like the upbringing, very controlling. So, and I think for maybe somehow that's why I kept dealing. Like since I was always going to the bottom of the barrel, I always found the bottom of the barrel men that were controlling. Hmm. Yeah, this is really going to get interesting when I finally find a therapist. But okay. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be needing a part 2. But I already said as a woman, but also as a black woman, again, education, voting. And I know there was, I'm going to have to find the story, but there was a YouTuber. She talks about medical mishaps, medical lawsuits, and things like that. African American woman. She went through it personally for herself. But there was a story about how it was legal, and I believe either it was a few cities where they would take females that were quote unquote IQ lower, but majority of them were African American women. It's like usually in the poverty type of areas, they would make appointments for them and then sterilize them or make them infertile because they said that this way they won't reproduce more low IQ people. That's going to take me to a minute to find that one, but I just remember when I watched the story, I was literally almost in tears because I know in some states or some areas within, like, this is going to be for the handicapable black nerd, but in some areas throughout history, when someone is born with a disability, they wanted to do the exact same thing. And so just watching this and just knowing that if I lose my right to vote, if that ever gets up to the panel again, I mean, I'm not too far from the next stage of fertility life anyway. So, I mean, but at the same time, for the future, for future generations with disabilities, they have no like no, they. So it's like I have so many words I want to say, but at the same time, my Christian upbringing is like, okay, girl, let it. melt, let it mold, let it melt, let it simmer in your head before you say something too petty, say something too bold. But so many people, like so many men, especially white men, I mean, black men too, and that's the scary part. It's like my parents went through segregation and desegregation. My father fought in a war and came back home, and he was called the N word, and people were trying to bomb their houses and like the. So when people try to tell me that was so long ago, my parents are like, my father's alive, so it's like, yeah, if it wasn't for stupid cancer, my mom would be too. But anyway, it's like it wasn't that long ago. Wasn't that long ago. But then they don't really want to teach real history, do they? And they don't want to teach people why voting is important. It's like because people keep saying that they want to take default divorce away. And if a woman is traumatized during the relationship, she is to stick it out and work it out with him. Oh, so yeah. But men tell me voting doesn't matter. Men tell me I shouldn't care. Men tell me I'm stupid for voting. I'm stupid, excuse me? I care about my longevity. I care about my life's worth. And I'm stupid for doing that? I'm stupid for caring about future generations to make sure they have the same justice, liberty, and freedoms that I do, that my mother was able to get at, like when she was in her, oh my gosh, yeah, because she was, well, with desegregation, she was, I forgot the exact age, but I think it was preteen. But then with the bank account, yes, like I remember, it's like I don't remember all the years. Sorry. I remember the stories, but not the years. With my disability, gotta remember, yeah, sometimes Nate, like Mariah Carey's husband, I still like, it's like sometimes I keep thinking of Chris, but I'm like, it ain't Chris Brown, but it's like, but yeah, that's a different, oh, Chris Brown, that's a different story for a different day. But anyway, thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.